want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is Watchman Yahudah Israel, also known as Pastor Derek Mann, on the Early What I See Through Scripture Study and Prayer Line on this first day in September 2017. Ain't that something? September 1 has begun, y'all. Hallelujah. Let's dive on into the Word. Let's go to Galatians 4. So here we go. Galatians 4:1. Let's look at this thing, yeah. Look what it says. Galatians 4:1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differs nothing from a servant, though he be master of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of time was come, Yah sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. Here we go. Now the heir, as long as he is a child, differs nothing from a servant. When you're a child and you live in a house, you have servants that live in the house, you're under a bunch of rules and regulations that govern your life because you don't know no better. You're a child. You're under a bunch of rules and regulations that keep you in check until you grow up to be mature enough to walk as a master in the home, a boss in the home. You know, a child shouldn't tell a servant what to do if the servant is grown. The servant know more than the child do, even though the house is heir to the child. But the child, again, isn't mature. Rules and regulations, even some given or enforced by the servant over the child. So it even broadened it to the child is up under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. It even went now outside of the physical home into the world, governmental structures and rules and regulations that keep order, even though, you know, the child is the heir to it all. But when they're a child, again, they're under the jurisdiction and the tutelage of tutors and governors, again, until an appointed time. Even so we, third verse, even so we, when we were children, we get allegory now, y'all, getting the understanding. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. When the fullness of time was come, Yah sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law. Made up under the same elements. For a reason. Made up under the elements of the Ten Commandments, the law. And the first, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive adoptions as sons. See, when we were children, and this talking about spiritually, not mature, immature, he sent the law to govern us because all had sinned and come short. We weren't what we should have been. So he sent the law to prove it, because the word teaches where there's no law, there's no transgression. People scandalous as I don't know what, but there's no law to prove it, where we could see the problem. So when the law came, sin revived and I died, said Shaul, they call him Paul, in Romans, the 7th chapter. And so he came to redeem us from the law. He came to pay the ransom for us breaking the law, because going against the law of Yah is death. The wages of sin is death. He was born up under it to keep it, because someone had to keep it, because wasn't nothing wrong with the law. The law went out of the mouth of Yah and would not return unto him void, but will accomplish what he pleased. There was nothing wrong with the law. Everything about the law is Yahweh and righteous. But because of our sinful nature, we couldn't keep it. So he took on a body, being found fashioned as a man. He kept it perfectly. And then he became sacrifice. On that tree, he died because we went against the law and broke it, and our paycheck was death. He died in our place, thereby redeeming us from the curse of the law. The consequence, he paid it, and all we got to do is believe. For Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Redeemed us from redeemed them that were under the law, that we might receive adoptions as sons and daughters, as children. And that process happens through faith. Now, and because you are sons, Yah has sent forth the spirit of his Son into our hearts, crying, Abba, Father. Now we have a relationship. We're not up under the elements of this world anymore. We're not up under this world system like that anymore. We're being led by Yahudah. Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then heir of Yah through the Messiah. Howbeit then, when ye knew not Yah, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after you have known Yah, or rather are known of Yah, how turn you again to the weak and beggarly elements, whereunto you desire again to be in bondage? You observe days and months and times and years. I'm afraid of you. At least I bestowed unto you labor in vain. Since we were redeemed from the law, rescued from the law, and now we're his children, he baptized himself inside of us, gave us his name. Now we're a part of the family of Yah. Why do we want to go back up under the 10 Commandments? Or why are we adding to the word? Why are we adding to the word? The word said, add thou not unto his word, lest he reprove thee and thou be found a liar. Why are we adding denominations? Why are we adding doctrines and our moral standards and our stinking thinking and our position, teaching for commandments, the doctrines of men? The doctrine of men is coming in as if it's a commandment from Yah, and it isn't. Every word of Yah is pure, and he is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. We got the Hebrews waking up to who they are, going right up under the law. They're getting tassels and growing beards and observing days and months and festivals and feast days. They are tripping, trying to find themselves, trying to go back to their roots. Your roots is your kinsman redeemer. Yahudah HaMashiach, the Messiah, the Messiah, is your roots, your kinfolk, the promised one that was going to come through the loins of Abraham. He already came, and he's the end of the law to them that believe. Why do we want to go back up under some commandments that the forefathers couldn't even keep? And just have relationship, because if you have relationship, the power of love causes us to walk according to the Spirit in the fulfillment of the 10. We don't go against the 10. We establish it. We're not under it. That's for those that were children, spiritually immature, sinful, disobedient. The law came for the lawless and the disobedient. You're adopted as his children. Your spirit cries, Abba, Father. You have a relationship with him. You've been baptized into his death, and you're rising up to walk in the newness of life, being led by his Ruach HaKodesh. He stood at the door of your heart, and you opened and came in. And you opened and let him in, and he came in and began to sup with you, to minister to your spirit, to change you into a new creation, giving you revelation of his word through relationship. Got to look at no doggone commandments, nor the additions of these pastors and bishops and these organizations and these denominations. Because when you subject it to that, you subject it to even the preaching of the new Messiah that offers a relationship with him predicated on you being a sinner, when the true gospel delivered you from sin. You were ordered by the Messiah himself, saying, be perfect, even as your Father which is heaven is perfect. And your Father which is heaven is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Your Father which is in heaven is the Word. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Yah. The Word was Yah. Your Father in heaven is the Word that will lead and guide you into all truth. Be perfectly obeying the Word in relationship. But now, after you have known Yah, or rather is known of Yah, how turn you again to the weak and beggarly elements? All this church stuff. Whereunto you desire to be in bondage, thinking that having a relationship with Yah is carnal commandments. No, the commandments should be written in your heart through relationship. All these extra things that folks add, teaching things they ought not. And folks, it says, amen to it and obeying it as if Yah said it. A little leaven the whole lump. We got to start going through our theology and see how much church stuff is in us. How many laws that's in the old contract, the old covenant, are we believing that we need to keep? You want to keep the Sabbath? Yeshua is the Sabbath. Yahushua is the Sabbath. The Messiah, the Mashiach, is the Sabbath. He said, come on to me, all you that labor and heavy laden, I'll give you rest. I'm the rest. And you're going to find rest unto your souls. You're going to find rest from who you used to be, rest from sin, rest from your carnality. To be carnally minded is death. You have rest from killing yourself, from walking according to the influence of your evil nature. You're going to find rest. He renamed it in David. Today you hear his voice. Harden not your heart. Rest today from who you used to be. Because you got some folks that's observing days, That's why Romans 14 tried to get them straight and let them know you got folks observing days esteeming days above another. Folks believing that serving Yah is a diet, a physical diet. And Yeshua, to try to explain to him, he said, it's not that what goes into the gall of man, but that which is coming out. And what comes out is adultery and fornication and envying and strifes and murders. So what you put in your mouth goes down the pipe into the toilet. Well, that's why, again, Romans 14, he that's weak in the faith, he said, receive ye, but not the doubtful disputation. Don't be tripping off of them. Well, one believeth they may eat all things, and none who is weak eats herbs. When you weak and think that you can only eat certain things, there's nothing wrong with eating healthy, and please do it. This is talking, you think you're justified before Yah based on what you eat or what you don't eat. You think you're justified. You're still up under the elements of this world, thinking that serving Yah is carnal commandments. The word teaches in the new contract, the old contract, you couldn't eat certain things. Under the new contract, he said, you defile the temple, he's going to destroy you. In other words, take care of it and eat healthy. So you want to talk about a pig? Well, in the Old Testament, it was a sin to eat a pig. Now it's not good for you to eat pork. It's not a healthy choice. But I tell you this, it's not a sin to eat it. And if you were starving to death, say if you were a person who don't eat pork, and you starving to death and ain't nothing left but a bacon sandwich, you either gonna starve or eat that sandwich. You got some folks that won't eat it and thinking if they eat it, they're sinning because they don't know the word. Because they're weak in the faith. They still saved, but they weak in the faith. And if they starve to death, be like that parable of when Yah sent the man the boat. Sent the high helicopter. And then they said, no, I'm waiting on Yah. And then when they died, they said, Yah, I was waiting on you and you let me drown. He said, man, I sent the helicopter in the boat. I sent the bacon sandwich. But you're so religious that you didn't know it. You caught up in the Old Testament, in the old contract, the new contract is serve Yah in spirit and in truth. It's not that what goes into the mouth that defileth the man. That stuff go down the toilet. It's that which cometh out. Clean up your insides. Clean up your character. Quit being a hater. Quit being two-faced. Quit being lustful after other folks' spouses. And quit being jealous and funny style and fake. Learn how to be faithful. Study to show yourself approved. Study the word. Love somebody. Learn how to forgive. Be a peacemaker. One man esteems a day above another, and another esteem every day alike. All that also let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. But the person that pick a particular day to think that that's the Sabbath, the word describes that person as weak. The word still say, still receive them. That's still your brother, your sister, but they still weak. You supposed to not cook on a certain day, not clean your house on a certain day. People believe that. Trying to keep the Sabbath. You ain't never kept the Sabbath because it was way more than the couple of things you stopped doing. You're not supposed to do nothing according to the law. Nothing. Not even prepare a meal. Nothing. Don't wash the dishes. You'd be sinning if you want to try to keep the law. But we're redeemed. We're redeemed. You observe days and months and times and years. I'm afraid of you. At least I bestowed upon you labor in vain. Come on. We need to get to the point that we're serving Yah in spirit and in truth. All that extra stuff, come on, y'all. All that extra stuff. When are we willing to comb through our theology and admit I'm on it because he got me on it for whatever reason? When are we going to admit that denomination and division is wrong and that he's trying to make us one? One of the main culprits to the division is calling ourselves divided. Yahudah came and tore down the middle wall of partition between the Jew and the Gentile. Man came along and built up hundreds of thousands of them, different denominations and organizations, with different rules and regulations and different doctrines. We're supposed to be one. I beseech you by the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that you be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Perfectly. Perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Perfectly. We got to learn how to be one. We got to learn how to study to show ourselves approved. We got to start rightly dividing the word of truth. If we're not supposed to be celebrating pagan holidays, then we need to stop. If he's not a triune, man renamed him triune because they don't understand that he's a Father and a Son and a Spirit. That ain't a triune. He's way more than that. Word teaches the 7 spirits of Yah. He's way more than the triune. When it comes to his attributes, but he made it perfectly plain that he's one. And the Council of Nicaea came along and tripled him up through Catholicism. Luther broke away and started the part of the awakening, getting up under the clutches of the Vatican and Catholicism. And here we are, waking up to the Hebrews is waking up to who they are. The Gentiles is starting to wake up to who we are as well, and the fact that they were grafted in. So we're one big happy family, according to truth. And us being one happy family, we gotta come from up under these elements. Folks teaching for commandments, for doctrine, the commandments of men. You're not supposed to teach your moral position, your dress code. Women can't wear pants and all that. That's your dress code. Word don't teach that. Head wraps and all that old stuff. Corinthians 11 chapter speaks to that. Say the churches of Yah, the ecclesias, the assemblies of Yah have no such customs. Though they were using the head wraps and a woman praying with her head uncovered, man praying with his head covered, and it was teaching authority. And then it concluded after using that parable language that the ecclesia, the body, the King James verse said the churches of Yah have no such customs, because we're not into that. We're not in the carnal commandments. Word tell you to wash your face and anoint your head before you fast. Was that literal? Or was his point saying, quit running around here telling everybody you hungry, you starving, you want everybody to know you fasting because you're a man pleaser? Or was he really teaching, don't do your alms before men? Does that mean don't be seen giving? No, that don't mean that. Just don't be given to be seen. Is what it's really talking about. And all by get an understanding. Let's get spiritual. You're not committing adultery, but you sure want to, and you looking on folks and raping them with your eyes and in your head. You've committed adultery already in your heart, and all thy get an understanding. This is a spiritual thing. This is a true relationship, not according to carnal commandments. It's all kind of stuff you could physically not be doing, but doing it in your heart. You can be smiling in people's face and really hating them in your heart. Going back to the understanding of Scripture, and if you're doing that, then you're a child up under the bondage of the elements of this world. The police is for you. The carnal judge is for you. The 10 Commandments is for you, and it's going to condemn you because you're wicked and you're evil. But Galatians, the 5th chapter, teaches, but if you're led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. When you have the Ruach HaKodesh in you and you're being led by it and obeyed, you're not under the law. You're going to do what's right according to love. And you're not going to be dictated to by carnal commandments. You're going to know when to obey the laws of the land. I will obey the laws of the land provided it's not going against the spirit of love. Laws of the land tell me not to house you. I'm going to house you anyway if you need it. Laws of the land tell you not to do all kind of stuff that goes against the will of Yah. Tell you to agree with things that go against the will of Yah. If the law say we shouldn't speak against homosexuality and Yah speaks against it, well, then I'm going to break the law. I'm not up under the laws of this land to the point that I'm going to go against Yah. I can go through the crosswalk, though. Yeah, obey the laws of the land. I cannot jaywalk. I can do a thing or two. I can obey the laws of the land until it goes against love. It goes against what's right. It goes against the Creator. Because I'm not up under it. I'm not under the 10 Commandments. I'm not gonna use Yah's name in vain, no, because I love Him. I'm not gonna make no graven images of Him. I'm gonna honor my parents. I'm gonna honor you too. I'm not gonna defraud and bear false witness. I'm gonna keep the Sabbath because my Messiah is the Sabbath. I already came onto Him and I found rest unto my soul, rest from who I used to be. Not observing days, months, and years, festivals, getting ready for the Feast of Tabernacles. I've already got the Feast of Tabernacles living inside of me. I already got the blood painted on the doorpost. I'm already eating unleavened bread. Bread is the word. Unleavened bread is the word. Leavened represents sin. Unleavened bread, word without sin. If you start following the commandments of men, that's leavened bread. Teaching for doctrines, the commandments of men, that's leavened bread. Your church oracles and what you got. Come on, y'all. We need to submit and bow down to truth, to the word. Let's throw up all this religious stuff and get a true relationship. We've all been indoctrinated, either as Hebrews, knowing who we are, going back up under the commandments and growing beards and wearing wraps and all. It's just ridiculous. Folks looking at you funny if you worshiping on Sunday, Sun God worship day, they'll let you know, which is true. But this is the day that Yah has made. I rejoice and be glad in it. Satan ain't doing nothing bigger than Yah. This is the day that Yah has made. I will rejoice in it. And while it's called today, you think it's better to worship Him on Saturn Day, because that's what Saturday is? Or you still call it the Sabbath day according to Yah? Well, if you can call what they call Saturn Day the Sabbath day, then I can call Sunday a day that Yah has made according to Yah. Moon Day, Monday, they've lost the O. Something wrong with Moon Day, Monday? This is the day that Yah has made. I will rejoice and be glad in. We got to start getting truth, y'all. Yes, paganism everywhere. It don't affect you. It don't affect me. It don't affect those that are called out of the darkness into the marvelous light. The 10 Commandments, we establish it according to Romans 3, the last verse. We don't make void the law. We establish it. We're walking 10 Commandments. And the reason why we're walking 10 Commandments is because He that's inside of us. Greater is He that's in us than he that's in the world. And He that's in us is the same one that spoke the 10 Commandments. But we walk out and establish the 10 Commandments through love, because the establishment of the 10 Commandments is walking in the spirit of love. He said, if you know Yah is one and love Him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and you love your neighbor as yourself, upon these 2 commandments, hang all the law and the prophets. Hang all 10 of them and the derivatives. All the derivative laws that came from the original 10. Hang and the prophets, everything they preached, everything they taught, everything they've been through. Hang it all, the whole book. Get the 66 books and go find the Apocrypha. Put it in the blender and blend it up. It's all fulfilled in those two. Why are you observing days? Oh, today is Sunday. I gotta turn off all this worldly stuff, and you should have been turned it off. If it ain't right, it ain't right. I'm not gonna cuss today. Should have been started cussing. I'm not gonna drink today. I normally drink and have me a cigarette, but not today. Today is the Sabbath. Every day is the Sabbath. Long as it's called today. When it's called today, you need to be with the Messiah and find rest to your souls. Let's get away from this false doctrine. Add thou not unto his word, lest he reprove thee, lest he check you, and thou be found a liar. Don't add to it. Don't preach that stuff. Don't teach that stuff. Come out of that stuff. And let's submit to having a true relationship. Don't you want a relationship? Wouldn't you rather have relationship than religion? Me too. Spirit of living Yah, we love you. Thank you for another opportunity to come before your children with a sermonette, a quick word, gleaning in your word, praying that your word went forth with clarity, falling in the souls of your children, springing up in everlasting life, and even give understanding even the more. We trust you, we believe you, and we thank you as we exit religion and get into relationship. In the matchless name of Yahudah HaMashiach, we humbly pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, and amen.